Hi, today I want to talk a little bit about why people hate salesmen. And today I'm going to use an example from Crunch Gym that happened to me. So, I walk into Crunch Gym like I do almost every day, but today there's one difference. Instead of me leaving work at 10 and getting there at 10:30 right before they close, and there are no personal trainers around, I get there around 4 or 5 o'clock because today I decided, what the hell, I'm going to treat myself and leave work early. Now I get there, and I have a schedule, a regimen of different exercises I do. You know, the shoulders, triceps, bicep, forearm, chest, back, lower back, quads, hamstrings, and I have a regimen for the things that I want to do. Now, the one thing that I don't really have a lot of experience with are core workouts, or the proper way to do that. So I'm doing that today, and the guy notices that I'm doing my exercise and I'm getting something done, but there are better things that I could be doing. So he walks up to me and he has some suggestions, and he's a guy who works for the gym. Now, usually when somebody walks up to me in a store or any place where I don't really want somebody walking up to me, my first thought is, fuck off. But today I figured, you know what? He has some advice. He probably knows more than me. So let me listen. And I decide that I'm going to listen. And he gives me some really good advice, and I listen to it. And he goes, you want me to show you something else? And I'm like, sure. Now, I left my drink. It's going to be important for later. I leave my drink downstairs, and it was an empty bottle, and I feel bad about it. Now, we're halfway up the stairs, and he's like, oh, you left the drink, when he asked me what my diet is, and I told him this. Now, he says, oh, don't worry about it. I'll go get that for you. I'm kind of wondering to myself, I'm like, no, I'll get it. I polluted. That's the wrong thing to do. And he insists on getting it. That should have been the first sign that I was being sold, but I digress. I move over, and he asked me what my goals are, and he's showing me some different exercises that I could be doing. They were, by the way, excellent exercises. My entire midsection feels like I was just shot more times than 50 Cent right now. And he's showing me these exercises, and I said, yeah, this is good. I actually learned something. Thank you very much. And he's like, okay, let me just have you speak to my manager. And so he sits me down with his manager, and he's like, okay, so what are your goals? And I tell him what my goals are. I want to be in better shape for myself. That's why I've been exercising for the last 5-7 years. I don't want to be that tech guy that's lumped over a bench, that has a beer belly, or that's super scrawny. I want to be somebody who's actually in shape, and I always have been, and that's why I go to the gym every day. So he goes, well, what days do you go? And I go, I'm here 7 days a week. And he's like, well, usually, you could work with them maybe 3 or 4 days a week, and, for a 10-week package, how's $2,700 sound? And I'm like, $2,700? What the fuck is wrong with you people? And a lot of things are going through my head right now. And I'm like, 27? They're like, no, suck it. And then he goes on to say, well, if you're, that doesn't work for you, they got to get paid something, but here's here's a different plan. And I'm like, no, $1,870, no. And I go, okay, you guys have got this grossly wrong. Like, A, I'm not asking him to work for less than he's worth, but B, I never asked him to work with me, period. So, no, I'm not spending more than like $100 a month on this. I'm sorry, you are the guys who asked me for this ridiculous price, and no, it's just not something that I want to do. And I left. Then the guy's like, well, you said you were interested in working on your core. Well, you show what I showed you. I'm the person who can get you there. Do you want to go there? Because if you do, I can do it. All you got to do is, sign up for this. And now at this point, I just feel kind of fucking insulted. Because I have hired technicians that do not speak to customers that turned into salespeople. And right now I have a salesperson working for me that is much better than myself in sales. So I know what the fuck you're doing. Don't do that bullshit where you point out the problem, then you point out the solution, and you're like, so you want the solution, right? Well, I can do the solution. Suck it! I am not that type of customer. That type of sales does not work. That type of high pressure, well, you want it, right? Well, why don't you do it? That shit does not work. And I'm going to explain from the beginning to the end why this was completely fucking ridiculous. And I'm going to explain why most people hate salespeople. How salespeople make people hate salespeople. First of all, above all else, if your goal is to sell somebody, you have to figure out if they're actually looking to fucking pay something. When somebody walks into my store, the first thing that I try to figure out from this person is, are they willing to pay? And it's not because I'm looking to be mean, but if I spend 10 or 20 or 30 minutes of their time on something, and then I figure out that they don't want to pay, above all, I have wasted their time because I spend 10 or 20 or 30 minutes discussing possible solutions with this person when none of these solutions would work because they don't want to pay. So in a very kind manner, I will present them with approximate solutions or, gross exaggerations of how low or how high the price could be just to figure out if they even want to pay at all. Because if somebody has a $600 problem and they have $30 to spend on it, I need to know that I need to come up with a situation that will work within $30 or $40, or that I should simply stop wasting this person's time and stop getting their hopes up. So above all, figure out what somebody is willing to spend. This person tried to work on profiling. So I'm at the gym, and this is actually what I wear to the gym. I was wearing nice shoes at the time. Well, they're kind of fucked up now with the snow. I was wearing some nice shoes. I got this, semi-dress shirt on, I got this polo shirt on, I got these Dockers on. Those shoes cost $35. This shirt was $10 at a sale rack at OMG. This polo shirt from H&M was literally $5. And I got these pants with a coupon code from Macy's after the Christmas sale for something like 28, 32 bucks. So they profiled me instantly based on appearance as somebody who has just that $2,700 of spare change that I could just dump into my fucking gym. Mistake number one. Figure out what somebody has to spend and how they feel like going about spending it instead of just kind of relying on the person's appearance. Because there are several people where they were in very obvious need of a personal trainer to assist them before they killed themselves doing something stupid. But I was the first one that was approached. Secondly, make it obvious in the beginning that your goal is to sell something. If you are looking to sell a product, do not waste 10 or 20 or 30 minutes of my time and then just say at the end, well, yeah, my goal is to get you to sign up for, spend $2,700 with us. Like, suck it. Don't be misleading about your goal. At all times, I make it obvious that my goal is to make money. My goal is to make money providing good service, but my goal is to make money. If I am offering somebody free information, I will tell them, if you want me to do this, I will do this for free. If you want me to do that, you will have to pay for that. If you want me to walk through the steps required for you to reinstall your operating system on this new computer and take the drive out of your old computer and put it into a USB enclosure and copy everything on, including library settings, blah, 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 I will do that for free. I will even spell it out for you on a piece of pen and paper. But if you want me to do that, here is the price for it. Like, what do you want to do? Do you want to pay? Do you want me to tell you how to do it for free? And this is important. You need to actually be upfront with somebody if you are trying to get their money. At the very least, now they're not on guard. Because you need to get people off their guard. And the way you do that is by being honest with what your intentions are. And bad salespeople are not honest about their intentions. They try to sneak up on you or creep up on you at the end. They hope that they've sold you before they actually tell you that they're trying to sell you. And that doesn't work. That only works on people who have low self-confidence, low self-esteem, who feel the need to please somebody else, who feel the need to make somebody else happy by saying yes to whatever it is that they wanted. And that's not how a lot of people are. Now, the third mistake, above all, was using a condescending bullshit sales tactic of, well, that's the goal that you wanted, right? I can get you there. Well, don't you want to get there? You don't make somebody feel like you are pushing them into the decision. The good salesman never makes you make a decision. The good salesman makes you feel like you're making the decision. They don't really give a fuck if you walk away or not. A good salesperson is like, hey, you want to do it? So you want to do it? Oh yeah, I'm the guy to get you there. Oh, okay, you don't want it? Okay, fuck off. Oh, let me move on to the next person. I'm ignoring you now. That's not what good salespeople do. Good salespeople are there. They provide counsel. They provide advice. Good salespeople are your friends. Good salespeople feel like your confidant. You feel like you can go to this one person with literally all of your life's problems. When you have a good salesperson, you feel like that person can not just solve the problem that you came in with, they can solve every other problem for you. That's how a good salesman works. You get this system of trust going where you don't really feel like this person's trying to take you for anything. And when you get that, when you establish that ground, you don't really need to use these bullshit high-pressure sales tactics, because as soon as he said that shit, I'm like, serious. I honestly felt a little bad, and I shouldn't. I felt a little bad just because the guy had spent 10 minutes helping me, and I'm like, I'll listen through your spiel and your bullshit. But as soon as they did that, I just got up and I said, fuck this, I'm leaving. You know, fuck you, Crunch. Fuck you, Crunch salespeople. And goodbye. And you know, it's important that as a repair technician that you understand the value of sales, because you do need to be a salesman. And I say on my website that we have no salespeople and we're not into selling. And you know what? I'm not into selling that way. I'm not into high-pressure sales. I'm not into, hey, you want this to work, right? Well, we're the people who can fix it. Do you want to do it? No, I'm not that kind of lame-ass bullshit salesperson. Maybe it works better when you're as good looking as the people at Crunch are, but you know, I'm not really gonna be effective with that. But we are not that type of salesperson. But I do not want to dismiss the importance of being a salesperson. You, for example, I don't want to dismiss the importance of being a salesperson. One of the things that the owner of our CRM system did not understand is why we wanted multiple statuses so that different people could speak to different customers. We had specific statuses so that specific people could call certain people. And because he didn't understand it, the whole idea behind the system is you can just type the notes and the customer will see the notes that you type and they'll know what's going on. Bullshit, that doesn't work. When I'm trying to tell somebody, oh, by the way, you know that information that you thought was going to be easy to recover? That's going to be $400. I need to be able to sell that to them. I'm not going to say, so, you want to do it? You need your data. We're the ones to get it. But you do have to talk to them. You do have to relate to them. You do have to explain to them why something is what it is, what the multiple options are for them, if they do have any options, and you have to listen to them. That's another important part of sales. A lot of salespeople defensively listen. They listen to you just long enough to barb in with some bullshit generic line that they learn in training, and that doesn't work. You have to actually listen to people. You have to listen to everything they have to say, their concerns, their misery, what would make them happy, how they got to the situation. You have to absorb it and then go, you have to understand it, and then you have to come up with a solution that makes sense based on everything they said. Whether that's telling them to do it, to not do it, whatever it is, this will create a basic sense of trust that you can use, my cat is sad, that you can use when you actually go to sell them something, when you go to say, hey, by the way, you would need to spend money on this. This is what I think would work best for you based on what you said. Now, you're working based on trust instead of based on so. Do you want to do it? That doesn't work. You need to be a salesman to some extent. Not a high-pressure salesman, but you need to be able to sell people on doing work. Because people do not want to take money out of their pocket to have the exact same thing that they had before. Dare I say it, a lot of people would actually see spending $2,700 on better-looking apps as a better investment than spending $200 to fix their laptop computer. Because, at the very least, at the end of it, they'll have something to show for it that they did not have before. Nice apps. Whereas, when you get your laptop fixed, you don't have anything cool and new to show for it. You have to sell people the idea that they're going to have the same piece of shit that they had before they broke it. They're not getting something shiny and new. They're getting back the exact same crap they had before their cat knocked it off their kitchen counter, but they have to pay for it. And you have to be able to explain to people why they have to pay for it. You're going to have to explain to people and sell them on the idea that an hour of your time costs $75. Because a lot of people expect that an hour of your time is only worth $10 or $20 because what you're doing is so easy. You need to be able to sell people on why something costs money. Because some people are offended when you say this is $120 or this is $150 when they don't really even understand everything that's involved in the process. You need to be able to sell people when something is going to take longer than it should. You need to be able to explain how it happens, why it happens, and in a manner that is going to make them happy. Because there's a saying that two people can explain the exact same thing to somebody. They can explain the exact same problem, the exact same fault, the exact same issue, and if this person explains it, the customer will want to kill you. But if this person explains it, the customer will shake your hand and leave a 5-star Yelp review. The way that you explain the problems and the bullshit that come up will affect your customer's happiness. You could actually, this guy who's pissing the customer off, could actually be charging the customer less and doing the service faster than this guy who's taking forever and charging more money. But this person could be making the customer happier based on how they sell things. My point is that I'm not saying that you shouldn't be a salesperson, because on my website, I know people are going to bring this up, I say no sales. I mean no sales in terms of high pressure sales. I don't mean no sales in terms of, just no salesmanship. Salesmanship is important. Salesmanship is a very, very obviously lost art, as evident by my just disgusting experience at this Crunch gym. And I want you to understand why people hate salespeople. I want you to understand what people hate about dealing with salespeople. They hate the idea of a hidden agenda. Make your agenda obvious from the get-go. I'm here to help you, but I'm also here to make money. Whatever your agenda is, make it obvious from the get-go and people will trust you. Even if your agenda is something silly, even if you say, on average, I need to make $200 for an hour of my time to make even talking to you worthwhile, but tell me what it is. Even that will make them more comfortable than if you just say, oh, just tell me, just let me know what it is, and let me see if I can help you. People don't like things being hidden. Be honest and upfront with your agenda. Secondly, people do not like being condescended. So, you want this? I'm the person to get you there. Do you want to do it? Fuck that shit. You don't condescend the customer. Don't make them don't try to like push them into shit. Don't try to make people make decisions based on what you're telling them. Have them make decisions. Don't try to push people into decisions. People don't like being pushed and jogged and blah. People don't want to be shoved in a specific direction. They want to walk to that direction. You can lead them however you want. You can even lead them this way if you want them to go that way, if you know that leading them this way will make them go that way. Whatever the fuck it is, you need the customer to lead themselves to the decision that you want them to make. You do not push them there, because if you push something, it will always go back. You ever see those little those balls where, those kinetic energy balls where it goes boing and it goes out on the other side, and then you push it and it goes boing and it goes out on the other side? Have you ever sold a customer on something and had them call you 10 minutes later to tell you that they don't want to do it, or a day later, or a week later, or maybe you sold them on something that you thought was such a great idea but they never came to pick it up? It's because you sold them by pushing them into what it is you wanted them to do. You push them towards what you wanted them to do. And when you push somebody, you're going to get another reaction. You're going to push right back. Whereas if you lead them and you have them move on their own, they're not going to move right back. They're not going to ask for a refund. They're not going to take 3 months to pick up their shit and then argue with the price with you. A sale is not won when they say, yeah, and they take out their credit card. A sale is won when the customer comes to their own conclusion that they would like to do this on their own. Thirdly, do not misjudge people. I did not say don't profile, because admittedly, in a business where you're trying to figure out if somebody's willing to spend money, profiling is important. But do not misjudge people. If somebody walks in and you get the idea that they're wealthy, do not assume from the get-go that this person is willing to spend money. And if somebody walks in looking disheveled and fucked up, do not assume that this person is not willing to spend money. This will get you in a lot of trouble. I cannot explain to you how many people have come in that people will look at it and just go, I'm surprised that person owns shoes, that have said, oh, $700? And they take a stack of it out of their pocket and go, no problem. Versus people who had a problem that they said they really needed solved. Oh, this is driving me nuts, it's just so terrible. And we tell them it'll be $35 and they're like, yeah, just give it back to me. You should profile people based on how they act and based on real, actual discussion with them. You don't profile them based on just looking at them and just thinking that you've summed up this person. You've summed up their disposable income. You've summed up what they're willing to spend money on. Don't assume that you know jack shit about somebody that you have never met. And above all with this video, I'm trying to accomplish a couple of things. I'm trying to get douchebag salespeople to stop being douchebag salespeople. And I'm trying to get people who in the technical field, who are not really that social, who don't understand anything about salesmanship, who think that all salesmen are those douchebag salespeople, to try to become good salespeople, to improve their business and to improve their customer relations and how happy their customers are through proper salesmanship. Hopefully this has helped you. And also, I do plan on having a video series that will be headed up by the lead salesman of my company, who is billions of times better than me when it comes to sales, billions of times better than me when it comes to handling people. He will jump in front of me when I'm talking to most customers just to keep me from fucking things up. He's going to be doing videos as well with at least once a week on topics that come up, how you can be better at selling your customers, how you can avoid the pitfalls that most repair shops fall into. So hopefully this is helpful as well. And honestly, I feel like I've been a little hard on Crunch, because as much as I think that those people were just pieces of shit, my midsection is killing me. That's good.